Homes are taking longer to sell here in my Gulf Coast counties, and they're selling for much less than a few years ago. So what does that mean now for buyers and for sellers right here in Manatee and Sarasota counties? I'm going to talk to you about that today. Stay tuned. Well, all of you know, a few years ago, homes were flying off the shelves and, of course, getting multiple offers well over their asking price. And back then, it really did feel like you could name your price if you were a seller, and you still had buyers lined up at the door. And I remember this, especially during COVID, when we had 5 offers on one house, 9 offers on another. But today's housing market is totally different. Hey neighbors, Catherine Newman here. Thanks so much for tuning in. And I'd really appreciate if you do me a solid and like this video and subscribe to this channel so I can keep you updated on all real estate related things on these markets here in the Gulf Coast of Florida. And of course, lifestyle opportunities here in these areas and the communities and all the great things that we have right here on the Gulf Coast. So as you know, buyers are getting more selective now, right? The inventory has increased and homes are sitting on the market a lot longer. And of course, buyers are asking for more from the seller, like concession money. They want to help with paying closing costs, maybe their prepaids, maybe rate buy downs. And why? Well, because buyers know that new construction builders are offering all the things. And so buyers are making sure also that they only make offers on homes where they ask the seller or maybe the new construction builder to pay their buyer's agent professional fee. And buyers already know when they do their research through the MLS or Redfin or Zillow, and yes, they have that capacity, buyers know that more sellers are having to cut their prices. Some of them are starting here and then they go here and then they go here. And I'm going to prove that to you in our recent stats here from Manatee and Sarasota counties. So let's start with Manatee County here. You'll see that these are all of the statistics year over year for the month of April 2025. Now, the reason we don't have May's data yet, well, this is the very last day of May. We won't have May's data until the middle of June. So this is the most recent data, April 2025 compared with April of 2024. And you'll see that closed sales for both single family and condos are both down year over year. Same with median price. You're going to see in Manatee County, it's down 12.5% for single family and 14.8% for condos. Now, pay attention to the next line here. It says time on the market until it goes under contract. Now, overall, it's saying 50 days for single family, 63 days for condos. Now, again, I know that's the average, but I can tell you right now, I'm going to show you later in the 10 houses that I just showed 2 days ago. Those houses that I showed have been on the market well over 100 days, but this is the average. So we are on the market longer now than we were this time last year. And then let's look at this important stat right here, months worth of inventory. We are at 5.2 months here in Manatee County for single family. And look at those condos, 8.2 months. You guys, that right there, 8.2 months for condos is a solid buyer's market. So if you're looking for a condo, OMG, that's a great time to snag a really good condo here in Manatee County. Now for the single family, we're sort of still in, I know technically I say it's a balanced market. I'm going to show you another graph here to push it. Why I think that we're in a balanced market, but some people would say we're still in a seller's market, but guys, we are so close to a buyer's market. That's just the way it is in Manatee County. So there are 2 opinions on how to evaluate whether we are in a buyer's market or a seller's market. And this chart shows that they believe anything less than 6 months worth of inventory is a seller's market. And anything between 6 and 7 is what they call a balanced or neutral. And anything over 7 months
is a buyer's market, and that's one school of thought, and I'm going to show you another one. And here's the other opinion on how to evaluate sellers markets, buyers markets. This one says anything less than 5 months worth of inventory is a seller's market. Anything between 5 and 6 month worth of inventory is what we call balanced or neutral. And of course, anything over 6 months becomes a good solid buyer's market. Now, I kind of tend to agree with this. It's what I've seen in my 28 years of being in real estate. I tend to kind of gravitate to this belief the most, just watching people make offers and that sort of thing. But hey, you choose what you want to choose. But I did want to show you how they evaluate a seller's market, a balanced market, and a buyer's market.
So if you're a seller right now, how do you still come out on top if you need to sell your home? I know you don't want to hear this, but it all starts with one thing. You have to price your house right from the start. And today, that's going to matter more than ever because it really can make or break your sale. And I'm going to prove that to you. Especially if you're here in my markets in Manatee and Sarasota counties, where I've already shown you that inventory levels are balanced now in Manatee County. And guys, they are a solid buyer's market in Sarasota County. So if you're a buyer, it's a really great time to snag a great deal here. And that's why I'm seeing so many of you come down from other states, because you know there's some great deals to be had right now. And then what is that saying overall? Well, it's saying that there's a real price disconnect between buyers and sellers. And actually, a recent survey from Realtor.com shows, listen to this, 81% of home sellers believe they're still going to get their asking price or even more.
Building a dream from your memory is the easiest way to lose your grasp on what's real and what is a dream.
But guys, the actual sales data shows that there's a growing gap between what sellers expect and what buyers are actually willing to pay. In fact, an annual report from the National Association of Realtors shows that 44% of recently sold homes across the nation, that is, went for less than the asking price. And 1 in 3 sellers had to cut their price at least once before they could sell their home. And here we're seeing them cut, and I'm going to prove that to you.
So here you go. Here's some data. We're going to look at Parrish, Florida, 34219, single family homes, new construction, just new construction. And I just picked a 7-day period between May 22nd and May 29th. And you'll see that during that 7-day period, there were 28 new listings. There were 10 price increases, which makes no sense to me. But you'll see here, out of all the homes on the market, not just those 28, of course, this is all the homes on the market in Parrish, there were 41 price decreases within that 7-day period for new construction. And if we look at Parrish single-family homes for resale homes between that same 7-day period, you'll see that the price decreases on the resale homes were 58 homes decreasing their prices within a 7-day period. And none of them made price increases, obviously. What about Lakewood Ranch single-family new construction within the same 7-day period? You'll see that there were 5 new listings in that 7-day period, 5 price increases. Seems like the builders are a little cray-cray. And the price decreases from new construction, 46 price decreases within that 7-day period. And of course, that's for all of the homes that are listed right now in Lakewood Ranch during that 7-day period. Here's the Lakewood Ranch single family resale. Price decreases there. Look at this, 70 price decreases within that 7-day period of all of the homes that are on the market in Lakewood Ranch right now. 70 price decreases. And just for the sheer pleasure of it, let's throw in Palmetto single-family new construction homes. There were 9 new listings in that 7-day period, but out of all of the homes that were on the market, 20 of them during that 7-day period of new construction did lower their prices. And for Palmetto single-family resale homes, during that 7-day period, there were 12 new listings. 2 of them increased their price. Now, that wasn't of the new list. That's just of all the homes on the market in Palmetto. And there were 37 price decreases in that 7-day period of all of the homes that are currently on the market in Palmetto. So here's an interesting report that the CNN business page reported just this past Thursday, May 29th, 2025. They said that home sellers now vastly outnumber buyers in the U.S., and that's according to Redfin. So the report found that there were nearly 500,000 more home sellers in the market than buyers as of April of this year. And that's the largest gap between buyers and sellers since Redfin began compiling data in 2013. So guys, if you're a seller, there's a lot more of you. We are definitely headed into a buyer's market. Your pricing has to be on point, and I'm going to show you why.
Now, I want to give you an example of this so you know I ain't blowing smoke up your nose. And I want to show you the data from 10 houses that I just showed over the last 2 days. I just showed these houses over the last 2 days, guys. 10 houses. I want to show you where the prices started and when we looked at them, where the prices were, how many days on the market. So I'm going to give you some real life, every week kind of data.
So I already shared with you that I had some great people here over the past 3 days from the great state of Indiana, and they were here to find something to, include in their retirement. And we looked at 10 homes. Now, we were actually only searching for resale homes. So sellers, if you're a resale seller, you know on this channel that I always recommend people look at resales, and that's what these people were looking for. And this is the home that they ended up actually going under contract. You can see that it was on the market for 100 days, but you see here at the bottom where it says it was newly listed on February 19th, you can see the price reductions that this particular home owner made. Now, there weren't a lot of price reductions, but this is, you'll see this is where they're starting to reduce their prices. Again, it took 100 days for them to go under contract. So out of respect for these home sellers that are still trying to sell their homes, I did not put their MLS numbers. I did not put their addresses. Now, this particular home, you'll see that it was listed back in August of 2024 at $435. And look at all of the price decreases it's made over the course of still being on the market 131 days. That's a long time, people, so they're having to drop the prices. Here's the third resale house we looked at. You'll see that it went on the market in December of 2024 at $439. It was decreased 3 times, all the way down to $389.9 on the market for 182 days. It is now expired. And this house was actually number 2 on my buyer's list. And if number 1 didn't want to play ball, they were going to move on to this house. But it did work out for them on number 1. But you'll see here, this one went on the market in October 2024 at $495. It is now at $420. It's been on the market 230 days. This house has only been on the market for 45 days, so that's not quite as long. And they've already had to make a price drop just to, get showings and get some people in there and that sort of thing. Here's another house. Now, remember, these are all in my hometown of Parrish, Florida. And you'll see at the bottom there, it was new on the market back in July of 2024, last year at $420. Then it was canceled was withdrawn, that is, in November. Then it was canceled the first of the year. And then a new listing in the first month of this year. And then it was price decreased. Then it went pending. And then for some reason, it went back on the market in April. So you'll see a lot of price decreases, a lot of being on the market right now, 117 days. Here's another one. Now this one, you see it was new on the market on the 30th of January of this year at $500, and it was decreased in March to $465.5. It was still on the market, of course, when I showed it at 120 days, but it is now expired. House number 8 has had one price decrease since January, and it's been on the market for 143 days. House number 9 has been on the market since the March 7th, and it's had 2 price decreases in the last 87 days. And house number 10 went on the market last August at 435. It's had 1, 2, then it expired. So 3, 4. It's actually had 4 price decreases, been on the market for 289 days. So I'm just saying, if you're a seller, please pay attention. Let your agent show you the data. Every single home I showed to these people from Indiana had already had price reductions. The longer it sits on the market, when they see 289 days, you're not going to get very good offers because they think something's wrong with the house. So price it right to begin with.
So what is that? Well, you guys, it's a sign that seller expectations may be a little out of step with today's market reality. So I want you to check out the graph here. Now this uses data from Redfin, you know, the 3 Bears and the Goldilocks commercial, and it's going to show that the asking prices of homes, which is that blue line, are higher than the actual sales prices, which is the green line, by a wider and wider margin as the years go by. So guys, that's just one example of the buyers I've been working with, and this tells you something important. It's telling you that not all buyers are willing to pay what many sellers are asking. Now listen, if you're a seller, that does not mean that you can't sell for a great price, but it does mean that you need to start with a price that reflects what people are willing to pay in today's market, wherever you are located in this great United States of America. Now, I know that I have buyers under contract right here, and you guys are coming from several states, and a lot of those other states are still experiencing a solid seller's market. Many of those states up north, New York and Pennsylvania and Kentucky, you still have low inventory, you still have higher prices, homes are selling more quickly, and you're getting a good deal, and that's great for you.
Look at you!
But, honey, that's not the same story here in Florida. So sellers, I am meeting with buyers every week who already know that the prices here in our markets are falling. Also know what builders are offering, incentives and updates and, you know, buy down the rates. They know they have more choices now, like I shared with you earlier. Guys, if you're selling, my buyers know that if choice number 1 isn't going to be realistic with the offer that we put in, my buyers are gonna move on to choice number 2 and make an offer there. So sellers, what happens when you overprice your house? So pricing your house high initially, it may seem like a smart move, and a lot of people do that because they say, we want more room to negotiate. The reality is, the data shows that an overpriced home is going to sit on the market longer, and it's going to turn buyers away. Remember, buyers are smart. They already know that your house is priced higher than other similar homes, and or when they see a house that's been sitting on the market for a while, and right here I showed you 100 days, 122 days, more than that. Listen, they start to wonder what's wrong with this house. And then if they do bid on it, it's a really low offer. So that's going to lead to fewer showings, less buyer interest, and eventually you're going to have to cut the price to reignite some attention. So as Realtor.com explains, they say that by getting the right price early on, you're going to increase the odds that buyers are going to be interested in your home. And in turn, it's going to decrease the chances of the home sitting on the market for a lot longer of time, a lengthier length of time. That's what I meant. And it's also going to reduce the odds that your need that you're going to have to lower the price on that house. And guys, you don't want that. That makes it look like something's wrong. So as a seller, you really first have to determine, do I really need to, or do I really want to sell? Because if you're just trying out the market and you're going to price it higher than the comparable data supports, then really you shouldn't bother. If you do want or you do need to sell your house, you really need more than just a sign in the yard and a really nice flyer and really great, pictures or videos. All of that stuff is great. And more than being on the MLS, you really need an agent to help you with strategy because you want your house to stand out amongst all of the growing competition. So sellers, you really need to choose wisely who you use as your agent. And listen, if you need help finding a really seasoned agent in your area, wherever you live in the United States, please reach out to me. Give me a call because I am part of a great network of elite power agents. And I'd be happy to give you a few names that you can call. And I really, really just encourage you, call several people, see what they offer, look at their track record, see if you're comfortable with them, and then go from there. And if you're here in my areas, Manatee, Sarasota County, maybe the other counties, please don't hesitate to reach out so we can discuss what your situation is and see how we could really showcase your home to stand out above all of this growing inventory and competition. Superstar! And we also want to strategize and determine the right listing price that's going to position your home for more showing activity than all of the other houses on the market. So if you're a seller, you really still have a great opportunity to sell your home if you price your house correctly, because you will want to avoid making those mistakes that we talked about. And it's really important for you to lean on an agent who really knows what's happening in your local market when you set your asking price. Because that real estate professional is going to look at recent local sales, not just 6 months, but 3 months. They're going to look at buyer trends. What are buyers looking for? What do they expect? They're going to look at inventory levels to find that pricing sweet spot for your neighborhood. Because remember, it's going to be different based on your neighborhood, even sometimes within the same town. Neighborhoods are different, values from this one to that one. And here's something else to keep in mind. Home prices have climbed, yes, I said climbed, more than 57% over the past 5 years. Now you're like, Catherine, you just told us the house prices are falling. Well, that's true. But if you've owned your home for more than 5 years, maybe 7+ years, you've likely gained more equity in your home than you realize. So even if you price your home, if you need to sell it, below the number that you really had your sights set on, you're likely still going to be in a great position profit-wise. And with a local real estate agent's help, you're going to attract more attention to your house. You're going to avoid seeing your house sit on the market too long, and you're going to maximize your chances of getting a strong offer. So in today's market, and really any market, the right price always works. Now, Mike Simonson, he works for Altos Research. He said the best properties, well priced, are selling still quickly in most of the country. And that's true. If it's priced right, it's going to sell more quickly. So what's the bottom line here? Well, the market has changed, but your opportunity to sell has not changed. You can still sell and make a good deal. Now, if you just bought a year ago, don't bother selling. Wait it out. You just need the right pricing plan. So I want to walk with you through what's happening, if you give me a ring, of the prices in this area, and we can determine what price that your house should be at to help you sell quickly and for top dollar. And again, if you just bought your house a few years ago, and I've talked to several of you that have called and said, we really need more space, we'd like to be in a different neighborhood, and they're seeing the prices fall here, and they're thinking, that would be great. We want to get a better house, but they've only lived in their home not very long, a few years, so they don't have any equity yet in their home, and so they're going to take a big loss, And then, of course, buy at a good price. But for some people, that inequity there is just not going to work. It's not balanced enough. So I'm always going to be very honest with you. I know there's a lot of agents out there. They're going to say, yeah, let's try to sell it and we'll sell it at this big price, but there's no sales data to support that price. Listen, guys, that's a lot of work on you. It's stress. Don't put your house on the market overpriced just for it to sit there and look bad, and you have to keep it clean all the time, and you got showings. Hopefully you get showings. A lot of people, they're not getting showings at all if it's overpriced. So if you haven't been in your home a while, just wait it out. I know, you gotta wait. Waiting is the hardest part. Who said that? Yeah, I know who said that. Waiting is the hardest part. So if that's you, just chill out, give it a little more time. Let's see what the markets do over the next few years. Now, if you've been in your house a long time and you now have gained the equity that's happened over the last 5 years here in our areas or wherever you're located, maybe it's a good time for you to talk to someone to find out what the current value is of your house because you've lived in it for quite some years now. So don't be one of those sellers that still thinking you can get 3-year ago prices today. It's not going to happen, right? It's just not going to happen. Buyers are savvy. They've been doing research. And again, if you're not going to play ball with them, they're going to go to their other choices. And yes, like I proved to you, we had a solid 10 choices of these last buyers that I just worked with yesterday and the day before and the day before that. They had solid choices, and so they could move on to anyone. But if you want some professional advice, I would really love the opportunity to chat with you. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. Reach out. Love to talk with you. I'm Catherine Newman. Thanks so much for tuning in. I will see you next time.